Hey everybody, this is Attorney Bowers, your Maryland accident and injury attorney, and here we are about 8 weeks into the COVID-19 pandemic, and I thought it would be appropriate to bring on one of the medical doctors that we work with regularly in the Baltimore area to talk about some of the precautions and steps that they are taking to make sure everybody stays safe during the pandemic. I am here with Marc Gulitz. He is the owner of MidAtlantic Spinal Rehab. I knew Marc back when he opened his first clinic, I think about 7 or 8 years ago, and now they have 8 locations throughout Baltimore. We're actually going to post those locations in the description here. So if you have any questions, if you're interested in, for injuries, for major medical sort of any chiropractic care, their locations are throughout Baltimore and can service you pretty much any time, which we will talk about. So Marc, I want to thank you for joining me here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So obviously an odd and different time here, and everybody's got to be kind of on, head on a swivel and at alert here for safety reasons. What kind of things are you guys doing at your locations to keep everybody safe?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, these are certainly unprecedented times, as we all know, and as all we talk about every day. We had to make a lot of very quick, very difficult decisions globally with our staff. First and foremost, as we saw this thing coming, we did decide to close 2 of our locations in Baltimore. So currently, the Park Heights and Parkville locations have been temporarily shuttered. Their volume was a little bit slower, so we've decided to centralize everything into our other locations. And by and large, that's been a good decision. It's allowed us to really control who's coming into our practices and to make sure that we're asking all the right questions and doing the appropriate screenings. In the beginning of this, we've spent quite a bit of time and money securing ample personal protective equipment. So all of our clinics, the providers and the staff have gloves and masks, sanitary wipes and hand sanitizers, all that stuff. When you go to the grocery store and you can't find it, we're well prepared so that we can take care of our patients. We're also making sure to follow the CDC's best practices, which include wiping down high-touch surfaces, including counters and doorknobs. We're taking temperatures with those touchless thermometers that you've seen, making sure that anyone over a fever over 100.4 degrees gets turned away. We're asking screening questions, both when people call on the phone to schedule a new patient appointment, and also when they show up. We're asking them if they have a cough or a fever. They've recently had any chills or shortness of breath. We're asking them if they have any loss of sense of taste or smell. We ask if they're caring for someone who they believe or have reason to believe may actually be COVID positive. And again, these are not all, there's no guarantee that even doing all these things will 100% make people safe, but at the very least, we're weeding out people who might otherwise expose our staff and our other patients just in the name of safety. Additionally, we're making sure to only limit the number of people who come into our office to just the patients only. In times past, someone might come and bring a spouse or some kids. We're asking that they leave them at home or leave them in the parking lot. And we're spreading out patient appointments to make sure that we can really clean the work areas both before, during, and after treatment to make sure that we have enough time to do that and still provide care for our patients.
Fantastic. So it really sounds like somebody that is in need of injury type of care or routine chiropractic maintenance really shouldn't have any sort of issues or concerns when it comes to coming to your practice. In fact, it sounds like it's even safer than, and you guys are taking substantially more precautions than, let's say, a grocery store or some other sort of store that would be open that they might regularly go to.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of had a reputation of being the clean and organized clinic before we started the whole pandemic. And so realistically, having that reputation and improving upon it during these difficult times has boded well for both our patients and the practice as a whole. That said, we do offer telehealth and telemedicine visits. We found some patients, in spite of all of these precautions, are still a little bit wary about showing up, and that's understandable. So we can schedule with the providers to do one-on-one meetings in their homes, not too dissimilar from how you and I are talking now over Zoom, so that we can go over any changes in their symptoms, go over any changes in their activities of daily living and how they're feeling, go over home care exercises and home care activities that they should do to help mitigate their pain. And though not a lot of patients are taking us up on that, those that are seem to be happy with it so far, and it's been a valuable resource.
You know, it's funny. I was actually having a conversation with somebody not connected to my business earlier today about the things that, like those engagements that we are able to take advantage of that are actually kind of a blessing from where we were operating before. Are there any things that you guys are doing now that you think that, hey, when everything gets back to whatever the quote new normal is going to be, that we're going to keep offering this?
Yeah, I mean, more so internally. We'll obviously continue to offer Zoom telehealth appointments. That's easy to implement. We already have the computers, we already have the machines, the cameras. But administratively, from an organization standpoint, you know, a lot of our billers for a while had been asking, can we work remotely? And like most owners, I said, no, you need to be there at work. And what we're finding is their call volume, their activity volume is oddly the same or better than it would have been in an 8-hour workday without the commute. So it's opening my eyes to the fact that maybe in this new normal, whatever that looks like, we might have to entertain a reduced work in the office schedule. And I'm open to you know, expanding that opportunity for them. Additionally, we've been having, I wouldn't say monthly, but every few weeks we've been having Zoom meetings with the providers in my office too, going over common problems that we're seeing or better ways to manage injuries or when it's appropriate to get advanced imaging. So all these tough things that we could never really all get on the same page with in a pre-corona world, we're finding that it's pretty easy to fire up a Zoom meeting, have a half-hour, 45-minute session, get everything out in the open and sign off. And it's really helped communicate top-down organizationally way better than I ever anticipated.
You got to admit, when you can take, you know, the silver lining as a way to almost be forced to improve the way you're operating, that you can't really beat that.
Yeah, I mean, by and large, I would say the other opportunities it's given us too, we've had small projects in the office we've been working on that we've been putting off, from improving our documentation in our electronic health record system. Well, all of a sudden we've had the time to do that and disseminate it across all the locations. So I do feel like though the volume has been decreasing and the number of patients willing to come in has gone down temporarily, I think we've really made good use of this downtime for some, let's call it spring cleaning, to make us better on the back end and really ready to handle increased volume as a result of what I perceive to be sort of pent up opportunity for people who are maybe deconditioned while they're under quarantine or under stay-at-home orders and might overdo it as soon as they have a little bit more freedom. And we're going to be in a good position to field those phone calls, take them in as new clients, and help them as best we can.
Fantastic. So with that in mind, I mean, currently 6 of your locations are open, which we will post those, and obviously the rest are on your website for when things do get back to normal. In these times, as well as moving forward, what's the best way for somebody to contact you to schedule an initial appointment?
That's a great question. So there's 2 really easy ways to schedule a consultation. The first and probably easiest would be to pick up the phone, call our main phone number, the 443-842-5500. You hit extension 0 at any time, you'll speak with Rania. She handles all of our new patient scheduling across all the locations. If you're a little bit shy, you don't want to get on the phone, or you're in a meeting or doing something else, you can hop on our website, www.MidAtlanticSpinalRehab.com. I know it's a mouthful. At the very top, there's a button you can press, request appointment, put in your name and phone number. That same lady, Rania, will contact you and she'll work on answering all of your questions and getting you scheduled right away. So whether it's by phone or email, it's very easy.
So one website, one phone number for all your locations.
That's correct, yeah.
Fantastic. That sounds great and easy. And again, the care and the response that I've gotten from your offices, from clients of mine over the years and otherwise, has been fantastic. So I'm looking forward to a time in which we are in that new normal, whatever it is. Hopefully it's close to where we were before. I appreciate your time, and thank you on behalf of anybody who might be watching this for providing, you know, this information in this certainly unprecedented time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.